All right, so Peter, this is day B or program B. Um, that that this is how I would kind of orchestrate your program. The first pair or first superset that we would do would be your kettlebell deadlift or your either dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift. And this would be a little bit more that squat variation. And you can do really one of two things. Now, you're kind of limited on the weight unless you got heavier kettlebells. I don't know that you necessarily need to do that. What we could do is, I know you have a 50. This is the one where maybe we do your 50, right, where you're going to straddle the dumbbell, right? I want the dumbbell just a little bit in front of me, right? So think about lining up your dumbbell right there in line with your laces or the midfoot. And here, you're going to pick it up more like you do the kettlebell deadlift where we pick it up from the floor. You're going to grab the base of that dumbbell, right? The end of that dumbbell. Nice big inhale. Exhale and come up. Now, because you're limited on weight, we may just choose to have you do the variation where you're just not going to go all the way down. Just like with that 2 dumbbell deadlift, you're going to stack the ribs and hips. You're going to start the inhale. You're going to feel the expansion. You're going to lower on down, almost touch the floor, or just as far as really feels right for you. Drive through the feet to come up, right? Start the inhale, feel the expansion. Lower on down just as far as feels right for you. Drive on up. Now with this one, because you're able to move the dumbbell a little bit closer to your body, we can have you bend your knees a little bit more and do a little bit more of a squat. And it's more like you're lifting something up off the floor. Peter, we're going to pair that with your good old dumbbell bench press, right? The second pair in this series would be your rear lunge. Since your deadlift is a little bit more squatty, we're going to do the rear lunge, which tends to be a little bit more, hip dominant. So a little bit more glutes and hamstrings. And Peter, this is this guy, right? So, and we started using the pad, and you would lower your knee to the pad. So you could do like a pillow with this. And this is where we're going to step back, right? Step back, lower down, come up and in. Back, lower down, up and in. Back, lower down, up and in. And again, since we're really working strength, I would maybe find something that's going to give you a little bit of support. You can grip and create some stability, but I find, if we want to really develop strength, then giving you a little bit of support so that you can add a little bit of weight to it, it's going to feel good. If you want to play around and do some for stability, which is great, then I'd get rid of that dumbbell and just focus on maintaining that stability. Maybe squeezing those hands, start the breath through the expansion, lower on down, and drive on up. Peter, let's pair this with your TRX row. And this is where, and you've been working on this one big time over the last couple of months, and it's really looked good. Your position, right? You're finding those lats, right? Shoulders down, elbows in, right? As opposed to over pulling and kind of ending up here. Right? This is the tendency, right? You've been working on this, right? Shoulders down, elbows in, really finding those lats. Same thing, with the TRX rows, I like to go 10 to 15 on those too. And you can really take those to a little bit of fatigue. So again, same thing with those Bulgarian splits or rear lunges. I like to go a little heavier on the rear lunges and do a little less repetition since you're coming all the way down. So maybe, again, feel free to do 10 up to 15. I like to stick around with sets of 10 there. And then just make sure you give yourself plenty of time to recover. Let your breathing normalize from one side to the next. Uh, Peter, the next thing, let's see, would be the next pair, the next superset would be your triceps, right? So like the TRX tricep extension is the one I like and recommend, especially with what you have at home. You can do bench dips too. I forget what you like to do. I think you like to do those skull crushers or extensions, the kind of like the pullover variation. Again, as you know, I'm a big fan of the TRX for triceps. And if you're not quite sure what that was, this is where we're going to grab the handles. We're going to interlace our thumb through the upper triangle. We're going to spin around. Let me just. All right, and this is that one where you're going to engage your core like you're doing a plank. Start your inhale, feel the expansion. You're going to bend the elbows, right, and let the body come forward. Think about the thumbs touching the back of the head or moving in that direction. It's a little bit of a stretch in those triceps. Exhale, press away. It's a little bit of an awkward one. The movement I like to think about is almost like you're throwing a ball in as if, uh, a basketball, right? Throwing a ball in from out of bounds, or you're throwing like a soccer ball in. And then pairing that with a plank, just a good old plank on your elbows, you know. And I would, again, we'll go kind of hard style playing, Peter. Actually, you know what? Do this one for time. But again, stop short of going into your low back. Honestly, if you're doing these for sets, I wouldn't do any more than 60 seconds at a stretch, unless you really want to make for whatever reason, you want to challenge yourself with a longer plank. I like sets of 60 seconds, multiple sets, 60 seconds. You're gonna gain what you need to acquire. And then again, if we're doing this for 60 seconds or so, what you want to think about: stack the pelvis and ribs, push the floor away, and then see if you can find your breath. So it's not just about kind of creating tension. It's really about maintaining alignment and then just seeing if you can find your breath. Peter, I hope this is helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to send this in a format. I'll shoot it to you via text so you got it. And if you'd like, I can always send it via a spreadsheet to where you can keep up with it if you find that that's easier. Again, I know that you'll stay on top of your workouts. You always do. And these are really honestly just suggestions, Peter. By no means do you have to abide by them. Sometimes it can be a lot to do a bilateral leg movement and a unilateral or single leg movement in a workout. So let's kind of check in with your body when it comes to that too. What we may choose is it may be better for you to just do one leg exercise per workout. The other thing that you can do too is you can always just do, instead of doing 3 sets of like Bulgarian split squats, or in this case, rear lunges on this day, you can always just do like 2 sets of that unilateral exercise if you want to do the bilateral exercise as well. Hey, listen, I know this is a lot of information kind of condensed into a short video. I hope it's helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. We can always kind of communicate like this via video. Hey, man, I hope you're doing well, and see you soon. Aloha.